What should my 2024 goals be?
Think of me. What would your wallet do?
Maybe I should. What's going on, comic friends? It's Ryan the Colossus Collector, and thank you once again for stopping by my channel. So, in my last video, I took you through my 2023 comic book goals and side quest goals. All the books that I went after or targeted at the start of 2023, and like you saw in that video, I checked every comic book on that list off and added them to my PC, and then beyond that I just went full hog on buying big keys and more books for my collection. My collection grew by leaps and bounds in 2023, and it was an exciting year, but I will be honest, my wallet was not happy with me overall, and it definitely gave me some food for thought when trying to think about my 2024 comic book collecting goals. Obviously, there's tons and tons of books, tons and tons of keys that I would love to go out and get. Marvel Spotlight number 5, Iron Man number 1, Hulk 181 and 180. We could get into some of those big Silver Age books, XMen 4, tons and tons of books that I want and will eventually add to my PC. But my life isn't completely about comic books. Believe it or not, I have a life outside of YouTube, outside of comic books, and there are some things I really want to start to save up for, to prepare for, some life goals, things like that I want to achieve, that I feel like I've maybe not put as much emphasis on, enough time and thinking on. And so when thinking about my comic goals, I also was thinking about my financial goals as well. I also have a really big comic trip planned for this year, going to Terrificon in Connecticut, doing a road trip there. Gonna meet up with a bunch of my friends and fellow content creators in the comic community. Hopefully meet some other ones that I don't even know will be there yet. It's gonna be a really, really great weekend, and I'm gonna buy comics there, but also the trip's gonna cost money, so there's just some different things going on in 2024 to factor into what I want to buy, what do I want to do, and what do I want to achieve for 2024. So, what I've decided to do for 2024 is to kind of come back to the roots of my collection, the true loves of my collection. Obviously, I love Marvel. I want it all, but at the heart of it, I do truly love X-Men.
Previously on X-Men.
And I thankfully completed my 94 to 300 Claremont run this year, and I'm only about 20 books or so away from completing my 1 to 300 X-Men run.
Wow.
And my goal is not to complete that run this year. I think that would be a little too lofty and not fiscally responsible, which I'm sort of trying to implement this year. But I do want to focus on just continuing to add to that run, filling in holes that are still there, but also maybe just really jumping on upgrades within that run that I already of books I already have, but at really incredible deals. Like, be a real deal sniper this year. And and really just focus in on making that run as high grade as I possibly can, but within a very conservative and like thoughtful budget. I don't want to go crazy just buying every upgrade I see, which is kind of my usual way of buying comics. So I want to conservatively add and upgrade my X-Men run 1 to 300. That's my number one goal of this year. Well, it's not my number one goal. It's sort of my number one goal. We'll get to that. Secondary to that, I just want to continue to look for books within my runs that I'm collecting outside of X-Men. So Submariner, Warlock, and Alpha Flight. My Alpha Flight run is kind of a long-term goal. I want to collect that all in the wild, or most of it in the wild. So that's just going to be an ongoing thing. But keep an eye out for nice, higher grade copies in the Submariner and Warlock runs that I'm putting together. I think Warlock's getting really close to completion, but even in there could be some opportunities to upgrade some books. So that's just sort of my secondary goal for the year. Just be on the lookout for books like that. Then I get to my comic goals or goal of the year. So last year I set out to collect 6 books, 6 big boy books, got them all. I did that the year previous as well. Last year I also added my side quests. One could say my side quests this year is those secondary runs, Warlock, Submariner, and Alpha Flight. My X-Men run is kind of my main goal, but then my absolute pinnacle goal of 2024 is one book. And I'm sure you probably have already guessed which one it is. I added my Holy of Holy Grails this year in GSX number 1, Giant Size X-Men. The first appearance of Colossus. But this year, I'm going to go after the biggest X-Men book in the world. The very first one. X-Men number 1. That is my one singular book on my goal list this year. Is to get an X-Men 1 in not necessarily a high grade, because that would be crazy, but a well-presenting copy. I'll go anywhere from a 1 to a 4, depending on price. But that is my goal, is to get an X-Men 1 during 2024. When will it happen? Probably not at the start of the year.
You underestimate my power!
I think it's going to be something I'm going to be patient about. I'm going to wait it out. Obviously, if the perfect storm happens and an insane deal comes up right now or in the next couple months, maybe I jump on it. But I'm thinking more, maybe I could get it at Terrificon, or maybe I could get it in the fall, or even towards November, December, when prices tend to go a little bit lower than the rest of the year. So that's my goal. X-Men 1. GSX 1 is my number one grail. X-Men 1 is almost parallel to that. And I'll hopefully have both of them in my collection at the end of this year. But also at the same time, outside of comics, I'm hoping I can really be responsible, saving money, putting it aside for things that I'm working towards outside of comics. Somebody say I upgraded my goals this year. I don't look at it that way. I think if I'm conservative and not going crazy buying books all the time, I can save up for that X-Men 1. I can still buy some books here and there for those runs that I talked about, and also save a ton of money at the same time. I was buying big keys almost weekly for like 3 months at the end of this year, or the 2023. And then even before that, I was just buying and buying and buying. And not even big books, small books, run fillers. And I'm not saying that I was irresponsible, but I was putting a lot of money towards comics. Whereas I don't want to do that this year. I want to buy less, but buy quality and great deals. Just be patient, which is not one of my strong suits. So it's definitely also just a goal to battle my shortcomings a little bit as well. But I want to get to that X-Men 1, and I want to look back this time next year, say I nailed my goals. I also nailed my outside comic goals financially as well. And hopefully 2024 will be an absolutely incredible year for me. So that is my 2024 goals. To recap, my side quest of the year, my secondary goal of the year is to just add some higher grade books to my Submariner run, my Warlock run, and my Alpha Flight run. My primary goal is to add and upgrade within my X-Men run 1 to 300, and the pinnacle North Star goal of the 2024 is an X-Men 1. Can we do it? Stay tuned, watch the channel, and before I go, I also want to let you know that I am creeping ever so closely to the elusive 1,000 subscriber mark for my channel. As I'm filming this, I'm 60 subscribers away. By the time you see this, I might be even closer. I definitely will be closer. So that means I am so close to giving away my giant 1,000 subscriber giveaway to someone who has been subscribed to the channel, has been active in the comments, and engaging with me here on my channel. So I can't wait to give that away. I can't wait to, hook someone up with that awesome prize package and to hit that 1K mark. So stay tuned for that. And if you're not subscribed, there's still time. Subscribe, make some comments on my videos, and you will be eligible to win that prize pack. So if you like this video, why don't you check out my 2023 goal video that I just released, and then why don't you check out one of my CGC submissions from just before the end of the year. And until the next video, keep collecting.